been working with Amma for 5 years now, and Amma's seen an amazing transformation. I just wanted to get him on video and just explain what's been happening with himself and how he's gone through this journey. So what's going to happen? Just going to ask a couple of questions, and Amma's going to give you his honest opinion. So first and foremost, Amma, what position did you find yourself in prior to working with me?
Well, prior to working with you guys, I'd literally gone through a bit of financial and like a traumatic experience of stress for about a few years prior to me meeting up with you. So I'd gone into this like hamster in a wheel of, I'd given up really training. I was quite active before many years ago. I mean, I played football at a really good level. I trained quite regularly. And then I had when the market crashed, I had a bit of a financial meltdown. Even it cost me my marriage. And I was in a monotonous family business where, you know, you're on like a stage where you have to perform. And that was my actual life. And it was consuming. So what ended up happening, the backstory was, I was just a big ball of stress. I was working 16, 17-hour days. And then my dad, God rest his soul, he's passed away since in January, but spent literally, my dad got diagnosed with cancer. So that then was another avenue of stress that is added on to the old stress that you're already carrying. And I just literally was stress eating. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't sleeping. The whole mantra of rest, recuperation, diet, healthy exercise didn't actually, it didn't resonate with me because I'd ballooned up to about 17 stone. And then I seen your advert.
So you were working all hours, stressed to the hilt. Father wasn't very well. Business was taking over your life. The financial crisis back a number of years ago now cost you your marriage, and you weren't in a good place. So how much overweight were you, and what impact was that having on your life, mate?
4.5 stone I was over. My fighting weight's always been about 13.5 stone. And it's my fighting weight now is literally 13.5 stone. I've weighed that for literally the last 4 years. That's after implementing the disciplines that I learned joining the gym and working with you.
What impact was being in that situation having on you, mate?
Oh, it was awful. No sleep. I suffer from sleep apnea, so snore. I snore, and the extra weight that I was carrying, not only did it affect my sleep apnea, I was pre-diabetic. My blood pressure was high. I mean, when I say high, getting out of bed high, as in because I was in a constant state of stress and carrying cortisol. It was awful. I mean, I wasn't sleeping very well anyway. And when I did sleep, I'd wake up 2 or 3 times in the night because I wasn't breathing. And the fact, the hours that I was working, I averaged about 3.5 to 4 hours sleep a day. And I did that for like 25 years. And when you're younger, you're all right because you have this energy, you feel good, you're all right. And you think, yeah, I'm all right. But as this started manifesting itself and I started putting weight on, because I'd never really been fat, because I've always been active. I think the funniest thing was I actually stopped. I couldn't get into my suits. This is weird. Some of the clothes, I couldn't get into them. And I sort of like withdrew from wanting to be, I got very self-conscious. And the fact that I didn't want to be front of house anymore. I didn't want to be a meet and greeter. I didn't want to be Amma from the Asia. I just sort of like withdrew myself from the public eye.
You've lost the 3.5, 4 stone. You did that in the first year, and you've kept that off for 4 years. We've already ascertained that. So, other than the weight loss, Amma, what other results have you seen whilst working with me?
I'm fitter. I'm stronger. My diet's on point. I don't eat crap. I gave up sugar 5 years ago when I don't eat processed foods. I stick to really basic, simple principles that I learned from you and find new habits. And it was hard at the beginning because you're craving stuff. If you're used to eating fast food, used to having sugar, and you're used to eating all these things, right? it's hard because your body's in a detox mode and you have cravings. And it's the first, I'd say the first 6 months was not that it was hard. It was the fact of getting into a routine of knowing that not to eat certain things and eat at the right times. That was the key for me, and reversing that. My sleep's better now. You know, I get in about 7 to 8 hours. Sleep's a massive factor of when you're training or trying to maintain a healthy lifestyle, because that's when your body is recuperating and regenerating and it's balancing everything out. So yeah, I have a great night's sleep. I don't snore, my sleep apnea, exercise regularly, sleeping regularly, and mental stability is a massive thing. And when you get all these three things like food, rest, healthy advice, your mental state automatically starts to improve. And
Okay,
I think that was a big.
So with that mental state, yeah, with that improved mental state, what's that enabled you to do?
Well, having a better mental state made me have the strength to sort of like break up the mold of leaving a business that I'd been involved in from the age of 10. When you consumed by being a creature of habit, fear is a horrible thing, because you fear change. And the fact that, you know, you gave me the actual the foundation to actually make that change. So, you know, I'm indebted to you in a lot of ways, because not only did you get me fitter, not only did you mentally get me strong, you helped me break a mold to move away from something that I was part of for such a long time. And I'm happy for it. And I'm glad I did, to be fair, because I got to look after my dad more on a regular basis, spend quality time with him. You know, I have a better relationship with my son because I spent more quality time with him, because when I was working nights, I didn't see him. I coach his football team. You know, I play a big part in the principles I've learned as in healthy lifestyle, training, sleeping. I instill them into my son now. And you know something, you know, it's improved him in so many ways, because I think if I can get these habits into him now from a young age, they'll stay with him and he'll maintain that himself, and hopefully he'll pass that on.
Awesome. So you're going to be a role model as well, huh?
You know what I mean? For me, honestly, I bump into people I haven't seen for ages, and they'll say to me, "Oh, it's so good to see you look really well." Now, not that I didn't look well before. What I'm saying is, you don't see people and they remember the stress state that you were in, and you know your background story of, you know, like, oh, the market crashed and I lost loads of money and I end up in loads of debt and all that. When they see you and they see you've got your mojo back, and the fact that you made that change, you took that leap of faith, and that's the key, is taking that leap of faith and believing in the principles. You know, I like projecting positive energy and inspiring others just by giving someone an hug and saying, you know what, you know, look, you know, when you physically look good and you mentally feel good, that inspires you to maintain that. And you don't want to let that go then, because hopefully, I hope this, you know, when someone watches this video, that it'll inspire you that it's never too late to change. Age is nothing but a number.
You know, business wise, you've said you're full of energy. You've moved on to other things. What you're doing now, business wise? What does the future hold for you?
I set my own consultancy up, and what I do is, I'm technically a middleman. So if people want a service, you know, we do our own developments as well. So like we do land and property. We look at doing joint ventures with various people. But what I tend to do is the principles I learned, I've used them as an advantage. So I looked at the positives of being in the restaurant, and I'm a really good networker. So I met loads of people. So I use that to my advantage. So now I work 4 to 5 hours a day. I have a cutoff point. And what I do is after that point, I won't work. And it's about making sure that you're rigid in your routine. And that's the key. So then I'm not overspilling. I'm not getting stressed out by thinking, oh, I need to do that. No, you do. It's about planning and being consistent. And the fact that I've managed after so many years to maintain a semblance of balance, not only in my work routine, but my work life, my family life. And, you know, it's nice to think even in lockdown and COVID, I coped with it really well because I didn't have the stress. But because I'd learned these mechanisms, I coped, you know, and at the end of the day, that's a test in itself. I think, you know what, irrespective, as long as you're healthy in mind, you've got your healthy mind and you're healthy in yourself, you can cope with anything, irrespective of if we're in a pandemic or not. It's how you are in yourself.
Good stuff. So 4 stone down. It's been a journey. 4 stone down. Left a business you weren't happy with. Started up your own consultancy business, which has led to, you're successful. You spend more time with your dad, more time with your son, being a role model, doing the things with him you want to do, doing the things you want to do, less stress, sleeping better, happier, got your mojo back, and looking forward to the future. So things.
Well, put it this way, my pet hate was running, and I hated running. And what I did was, when I see some of your running videos, I've recently, obviously, when my dad's passing, I gave myself a little bit of a goal. So because of the principles I've learned with you and being inspired by you more than anybody, I've signed up for the Manchester 13 half marathon. I'm doing it in October. Nice. I'm doing the 10K. I'm doing the Rochdale 10K. But not only do I still do my strength and conditioning, the kettlebells that I train with, I'm running 3 times a week as well. And that's great as well, because I've learned a different discipline. Even at 46 years old, I'm running times and I'm running, whereas I hated running, but I've embraced it, and because I set myself a challenge. It's helped me as well, because not only am I fitter now, I'm fitter now than I've ever been, and that's the truth.
People say to me, and I'll be honest, I'm not the cheapest. People said to me, "Oh, it's expensive and everything." Put a price on your last 5-year journey.
Oh, unbelievable. Let me tell you something. If I knew that I was going to be as fit as I was now, if you'd have charged me double, I'd have paid it, knowing what I know now. And the fact that you get what you pay for. You can go join a gym. You can go pay 50 quid a month. But once you're in that maze, you have to find and fend for yourself. And half the time, people don't even know what they're doing. And the fact that what you did with me was you basically analyzed and stripped me down bare bones, say, right, and then helped me rebuild, gave me the tools to rebuild myself. And I've maintained that. My engine's running. My engine purrs, mate. There's no stop-start. There's no misfiring. My engine purrs. And that's all down to the principles that I learned with you. So I'm indebted. So anybody that's watching this video, look, take that leap of faith, because let me tell you something, it'll be the best money you've ever spent. Honestly, it'll be the best money you have ever spent. So I would highly recommend.
On that note, that's it, guys. You just heard it from the horse's mouth. If you're interested, get in touch. We'll have a chat. If it works for you, great stuff. We can look to get you going. If it doesn't work for you, no problem. I'll point you in the right direction, and hopefully you can achieve what it is you want to achieve. Thank you very much, Emma. Cheers for your time. Much appreciated. Love you loads. And I will.